one of the main considerations before when the farmer is getting into dairy farming is to have made his or her research about where to sell the milk. And the farmer should have also determined the objectives of his or her dairy farming enterprise. Whether he's producing, he wants the animals to produce milk for his own home or for sale. And also to determine which amount of milk is supposed to be sold to the consumers. So the first thing the farmer needs to know is to have identified the market and have organized with the processor, or if the milk is being supplied through a cooperative or a person collecting the milk from the farm gate, then that kind of arrangement has to be there. And it is always a good thing to avoid cases whereby milk stays on the farm and it can easily be contaminated. And remember, milk is perishable and it has to be moved to a cooling unit within the first 4 hours to make sure that it is safe. So if the farmer has organized with a processor, then normally most processors will collect the milk a few minutes or hours after the milking, and this will end up at the processor, whereby the milk will be cooled and pasteurized for distribution and packaging to be used by the consumers. In cases whereby milk is going to be consumed locally, then it also has to get to the consumer at the right time so that the milk can be consumed by the buyer. It's a very interesting question, and I must say that agriculture and especially livestock is the livelihood of most smallholder farmers. And this is an area whereby most farmers depend on livestock as income and food for their families, and also to do other activities in the rural areas. Therefore, I wanted to be part of this initiative to work with farmers and to support the initiative in raising good animals, to see the farmers grow and enjoy their profits as part of my contribution that we'll want to be proud of. Again, I'm a dairy farmer, and this is where my passion is, and I'm happy to work with cows and animals and see the whole industry grow. Well, the involvement of the youth across the globe on matters of agriculture and dairy has really been a question that many have been worried about, because we've had very few youth involved in the activities because they all want to go to urban areas to be part of the white-collar jobs and all that. But having worked with this industry for over 10 years, dairy farming is a profitable industry, and with the challenges of unemployment and challenges of raising incomes for families, this is the right opportunity for youths to consider being part of these enterprises and having that passion about raising animals and seeing how much more they can do. And if you look at the farmers in the rural areas, most of these farms are run by the initial owners of the farms, and these are old men and women who will soon be unable to sustain the whole process because of their age. And we ask ourselves, where will these animals go? Yet in every meal that a normal household will have, there will be a cup of milk that is required. So the youth should be part of this whole process, and I encourage them to go back to their farms, to love farming and to raise animals for profit, because it's also part of the employment that should also sustain their lives. I will say that One of the main mistakes that farmers make is to run their farming enterprise without consultation. Farmers will want to make their own choices in getting the feeds. They'll want to make their own choices in treating the animals, and this is a point where most farmers lose out in proper management of the animals. So I'll urge farmers to always work with relevant, experienced personnel to assist them in growing up the enterprise. Because if they make repeated mistakes, they'll continue to make losses, and eventually they will end up shutting down the business. Well, with the current trends and transformation, again with the rural urban settlement and scaling down of farms and land sizes, there's a great risk of animals, especially the dairy animals, being reduced, and that will also affect the production. So in the next 10 or 20 years, farmers and people of good will should be able to consider livestock and especially dairying as an enterprise that should be revived and also be supported to ensure that families and households start up this business, even if they are starting it on a small farm, but they can be assisted to adapt the modern technologies that can support them in growing the business. And this is something I see, and with the coming in of the technologies, they can do more if they embrace technology and they are passionate about dairying and livestock. Well, an acre of land will be more than adequate for any person who wants to start a small dairy farm, because with a very good plan and with the right person to guide and direct in the setup of the whole business, a person can can dive into the business and start enjoying the benefits and the profits. Within 2 years, they should be able to have understood what they're supposed to do, and thereon they should be able to grow their business. A farmer should make sure that they maximize on the land use to make sure that no space on the land is wasted. A good setup will be setting up a zero grazing unit and dividing the land into good portions whereby some fields can be grown on the farm, and a proper plan should be done by the farmer to ensure that we have enough and available feeds to carry out or to be used at the farm for the next 1 year. So a farmer will think of growing feeds or buying feeds from other outlets, and make sure that they are reserved and stored on the farm to be used on the farm for the period not less than a year. Most small-scale farmers do not succeed because they want to be lone rangers in dairy farming. And the essence of farmers being encouraged to be members of a group or cooperative society is for them to interact with other farmers and address the same issues and challenges together. Groups and cooperatives, as established, always help farmers to learn and to get ideas, and also to share the experiences about good dairy and farm management. When farmers are in a group, they're able to meet most of the huge expenses of the farm at a very lower cost. This may include the purchase of feeds, This may include access to AI services and also negotiating for a good price for their milk. I'll advise that the students keep in mind the advice and the ideas that we've shared through this video, and not to fear to start. And I want to assure them that dairy farming is the future of the next generation. They should be enthusiastic and more willing to start dairy farming and focus on the issues, and always seek advice whenever they have any challenges and they're not sure what they're supposed to do next. I've been part of very key institutions in this country, which is the Kenya Livestock Breeders Association, which is a body that has been mandated to help and work with farmers in improving their breeds through proper animal identification, registration, and performance recording. Farmers should be encouraged, and when we've talked about record keeping and better management, it's all about proper record keeping. Farmers are advised to register and record their animals officially with the Kenya Livestock Breeders Association as a key institution that will help the farmer with the advice on better management, selection of animals, and also how to best raise their breeds for higher profits. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the classes, and I hope to see you next time.